Welcome to the 2015 Mazda MX-5 Championship. First round here at Silverstone, the home of British motorsport. 53 cars across 4 races today, so get ready for some Mazda mayhem. Over to Richard, who's going to bring us up to speed with the new season.
The BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship for 2015 looks to be more competitive than ever. New regulations have levelled the playing field with an upper limit of 105 hub horsepower now in place. Last year's top 3 drivers have moved on, so who are the front runners to watch this season? Simon Baldwin and Martin Tolley were regulars in the top 5 in 2014 and both are likely to score their fair share of podium finishes. The ever-exciting Brian Chandler is also back for 2015. He'll start the first race on the second row alongside Simon Baldwin. Ben Short was another podium finisher last year, and although he won't be competing in every round, he's certainly one to look out for here at Silverstone. Young Chargers Ben Tuck and Sam Smith got quicker and quicker last year, and former oval track racer Darren Lewis made great progress through his first season of circuit racing. He set the fastest time in qualifying to take his first ever pole position. Another name to look out for is Alex Saw, winner of the Go For It Racing prize draw, an initiative set up by Kevin Brent and Martin Tolley. Here's Kevin to tell us more.
The winner of the draw is going to receive a prize worth in excess of £7,000, and that prize is going to include this season's BRSCC membership fees. It's going to also include registration to the BRSCC for the championship, entry fees paid for 4 rounds, and the use of a fully race-prepared MX-5 for those rounds, as well as the trailer to transport it. And the charity that we've chosen to support and work alongside is the Stilian Petrov Foundation, and we're donating £1 from every entry fee into the foundation itself. So I'd now like to introduce Stilian Petrov. Many of you will know him as a Celtic player, as a former captain of Aston Villa, and also I think you hold the record for the most international caps for the Bulgarian team, I believe. So without further ado, thank you very much, Stilian. Over to you to do the prize.
First, thank you very much. I'm pleased to support Go For It Racing, obviously to popularize the motorsport, to get more fans, to get people to start enjoying this sport even more.
So how did Alex get involved?
Through my girlfriend, enough. She very kindly bought me tickets to the NEC Motor Show and the BRSCC membership, and part of it we met the Go For It racing guys, and she thought we'd take a punt and bought us a ticket for the competition. Lo and behold, we found out we won. And
what are his goals for his first season of racing?
Primarily bring it home in one piece, but obviously this is a race, so the aim is to keep overtaking the guy in front. To be honest, I imagine it's probably like going to a high-speed pub brawl. So yeah, it's a daunting prospect. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be vying for the championship as well, and there's veterans out there and novices alike, so we're all bringing different experiences to the table. As long as I'm not occupying the same space as another racer, I'll be happy, but it's going to be interesting.
We're at the grid for the start of the Mazda MX-5 Championship Race 1B. Now I want to have a quick word with John Coburn-Evans, who qualified second yesterday. John, how's it going? Good afternoon.
Well, thank you, yes.
Good to see you up front today.
Yes, first time I've ever been here, so a bit nervous today, but I'm going to look forward to it. I'm going to go out and enjoy it and try and stay as calm as I can.
So you're up front here, so I'm guessing something went well in qualifying and it was a good race for you.
I was really consistent actually in qualifying, but I think mentally I was in the right place. I'd actually had a puncture in the assembly area and I actually go straight into the pit lane. The guys at BC Motorsport, brilliant job, got me out again, and I think I was relaxed because I wasn't under any pressure, and I just went out there and was consistent, so it was good. Yeah.
Now we've just spoken to John, but now it's time to see how the pole man Paul is feeling. Paul Bateman over here, sitting in the first position. Paul, great qualifying for you yesterday.
Yeah, I'm very pleased to be on the front of the grid. We'll see what happens behind me. If it's all nice and clean, I get a good start.
Because I know the top 5 from this 1B class go up to the 1A race. Is that something you're aiming for?
Yes, it is. It is. I'd like to think I'll be an A-class runner, but this is my first ever race with Mazdas. So it's all new to me.
Here's the grid for Group B. Paul Bateman and John Coburn-Evans on the front row. Then Courtney Milnes and Will Stevenson. David Birrell and Carl Andrew, row 3. William Wood and Danny Green. Then David Staples and Ewan Milne. Michael Lawson and Simon Woods, row 6. David Henderson and Ivan Leary, followed by Paul Austin and Simon Ricketts. Russ Lindsay, Alex Saw, Henry Lawson and Matt Pickford, row 10. Bruce Carter and Christian Young. Then Peng Fei Chen and Simon Drinkle. Patrick Collins, Nick Riley and Matthew Simonite are next. Non-starter Anthony Hutchins after a little bit of a crash qualifying. So this is the second half of the field, and those that were in the bottom half of the timing. And remember, the top 5 drivers will go through into race 2A. Cracking start from the front of the grid by Paul Bateman in white. The outside line, of course, here is pole position at Silverstone, and they get away well. Courtney Milnes dropping back just a little bit in white 7. Our Lady Racer in car with Carl Andrew, who's looking down the inside of, is that John Coburn-Evans that he's up dicing with, the man who qualified in second position for this group. Argument on track here, and down the inside goes Danny Green, but it's a spin for John Coburn-Evans, who started on the front row of the grid. That was a very, very quick recovery. We're going back to the battle between Danny Green and David Birrell, who is ahead of him. So Birrell in the Mac Tools livery car, but here comes Danny Green offline, side by side as they come along the straight, down into Copse Corner, and Danny Green looking to get back on the podium. Birrell loses the place, but we know he will fight back. So the ex-serviceman from Devon down to 4th position, but these two, they might do well to try and reel in the lead pair, because William Stevenson and Paul Bateman are starting to get away. Back to the front, then Stevenson still chasing Paul Bateman, so Bateman leading, not a commanding lead, as you can see, and he's having to defend pretty well. Now what you saw there was William Stevenson taking a wider line into Lovefield, and that might give him a little bit more momentum out of the corner. Certainly Bateman was a bit more defensive. If that gives him a slower exit, we might see a run here from the 62 car to go through. He's right with him, and this is where the momentum could count. He comes offline, looks down the inside along the National Straight. This is where we saw Danny Green make the pass, and William Stevenson does the same thing as well. And that's how you use the Silverstone circuit. Well, how is this going to pan out? 3/4 distance, and Coburn-Evans has got to pass all of these 3 cars if he can get into the top 5. Ewan Milne looks up the inside of Carl Andrew. You can see Milne, newcomer flag on the back, as we go back to the race for the leader. Paul Bateman, as you can see, has not been left by William Stevenson at all. Stevenson still there, and here comes Bateman through, back into the lead. Paul Bateman fights back. Now, was that an exact repeat of what we saw Stevenson do earlier on? Now they're squabbling, and Danny Green, who I mentioned has the fastest lap of the race, is closing up as well. David Birrell still back in 4th position, but this is a 3-way scrap for the lead. Stevenson on the outside, Bateman on the inside. Here comes Danny Green in treble 1 round the outside, bangs over the curbs, loses a bit of momentum. Down the Wellington straight they go as they come across the line and onto the last lap. Just 1.6 miles to go, and we might get some more changes. I tell you what, David Birrell's not too far away as well, as Danny Green goes up into 2nd place, or does he? We've lost him out of shot. Danny Green through into 2nd, Paul Bateman down to 3rd, and this is allowing William Stevenson now to move away. So Birrell still in 4th position, but William Stevenson looks like he's going to hold on. This is going to be nail-biting stuff for him here. As you can see, Paul Bateman in 2nd position, still ahead of Danny Green. Green tracking him wheel for wheel at the moment. Out of Lovefield and through Woodcote for the last time goes William Stevenson, who will see the checkered flag very shortly. So Stevenson takes the checkered flag and the win in race 1B. Paul Bateman gets 2nd position. Here's the battle between Ewan Milne and Carl Andrew, and I can tell you that John Coburn-Evans, there he is. Coburn-Evans came through, closing in on David Birrell. So Coburn-Evans goes through along with David Birrell, Danny Green, Paul Bateman and Will Stevenson into race 2A. They've promoted themselves into the top half of the grid for the second half of our meeting. Here's the official result. William Stevenson takes the win from Paul Bateman. Fastest lap to Danny Green, then David Birrell and John Coburn-Evans. Simon Wood 6th from Ewan Mill. Carl Andrew in 8th from Courtney Milnes and Simon Ricketts. Then it was Russ Lindsay and David Staples. William Wood and Michael Lawson, followed by Bruce Carter and Alex Saw. Ivan Leary next from Simon Drinkle, Patrick Collins and Paul Austin. David Henderson, Henry Lawson, Matt Pickford, Nick Riley, Matthew Simonite, Christian Young, Peng Fei Chen completing the runners. All 27 starters finishing.
I'm joined by Danny Green 3rd and David Birrell, that was 4th. Now both of you guys get promoted to the A group, so that's quite a pleasant surprise, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely. We had a good tussle right through the whole race and it disappeared. But apart from the part before he disappeared, we had a really good battle together, right? And it was a good laugh.
And of course you did disappear, so you got the upper hand on David, unfortunately. What was it like out there for you?
Yeah, it was good. Very good after the recent rebuild we've done. So it was being promoted to the A race is sort of what we needed. Be nice to be up there at the front. It's nice to come away with a podium.
Finally, David, what's it like to race out there at Silverstone? It's the first round of the season. Do nerves take a play?
Yeah, massively to start with. Like, I would obviously have finished 4th if it wasn't for the guys. The guys have been building that car since the end of last year, and also waiting on sponsors and that when they came through. Matt Till's obviously, the guys done a perfect job with the car. So to fight 4th, even in the B final, is actually quite good, and even get promoted up to the A final is even better. So it's going to be a good tussle. I'm sure we should be able to make up a few places at the back of the A final, and then battle and push your way forward. Like, so yeah, can't wait.
You have unfinished business now, don't you?
Yeah.
Watch this space. Best of luck, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Paul, we spoke to you before the start of the race. You're now 2nd. Yeah.
I'm still smiling.
You're still smiling. Are you happy with that result for the first race?
I am. I must be. I'm shell shocked at the way the pace and the how determined people are to get past you. But we had a great race at the front. I mean, I don't know how many times we changed lead. 4 times, and it was great fun. I can't say any more. It's just fun, fantastic. For an old boy like me, it's almost a bit too much.
Winner of the first race, William Stevenson. Your first win ever, actually, so it must be quite a special moment for you.
Yeah, really happy with it. Really happy with it. So my previous highest finish was 6th place. So yeah, did a bit of playing with the car over the winter, and going to be my first time in an A race as well. So yeah, quite happy with that.
Exciting to be in the A race. You'll be at the back, so you're going to have quite a bit of traffic to get through, and it's going to be hard work for you, but you're there, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, well, we're going to be around the same guys again with the back 5 going up, but yeah, hopefully finish higher than start and see if I can get in mid-pack. And if I did, I'd be chuffed to bits for that.
Pole position to Darren Lewis here at Silverstone with Ben Short alongside. Then Simon Baldwin and Brian Chandler. Martin Tolley and Gary Hufford, row 3. Sam Smith and Paul Tucker, row 4. 5th row, Ben Tucker and Paul Bishop. Then it's Roger Chesno and Clive Powles. Richard Breland and Brian Trott, followed by Oliver Allwood and Andrew Caird. Lewis Field and Chris Hart, followed by Kevin Brent and Jake Simpson. Graham Colby and Matt Tasker next. Then Harry Dean and John Hughes. Drew Forster, Simon Goddard, Richard Collins and Michael Fisk complete the grid. Some notes here. Engine change overnight for Andrew Caird in car 15, and keep your eyes open for 177 Drew Forster, who's sharing the car this weekend. That will be out in 1B as well with a different driver at the wheel. A little bit of creeping from Darren Lewis, and away we go. It looks like a very good orderly start all the way down the field. No stallers. Watch for track limits. It's Darren Lewis who leads them around Copse for the first time. Brian Trott gets away well. Sam Smith in the pink car, and they're coming down towards Maggots for the first time. Here they are at Maggots, side by side. It's Ben Short who's got through in front of Darren Lewis in lead position. Brian Chandler is there in 3rd place as they round Beckett's. The physical work of handling these cars around Beckett's is then negated by a nice long run for them down the Wellington straight under the bridge. What a very impressive sight this makes. And it's Ben Short out front, the 4th position car. Simon Baldwin looking to try and make up a position here. Darren Lewis might get hung out to dry. He's near his camera and he's on the outside for the turn into Brooklands. Now they go into Luffield, and it's Ben Short still leading. Brian Chandler second. Darren Lewis in 285 third, followed by Simon Baldwin in car number 9. Martin Tolley is in 5th position. As we go in car with 41, Kevin Brent, the Worcestershire racer, starting in the second half of the grid in this one, 19th position on the grid, and he's working hard. Great onboard shot, and it gives you a flavour for racing these cars. And of course, if you Google BRSCC Mazda MX-5, you'll find out more about how you can come and join this championship. I mentioned that this is only half the grid, but we can cater for as many cars get thrown at us. Chandler coming in, pressure from Lewis, and Ben Short gets it all crossed up, going into Brooklands, and look how that one mistake has cost him. Not one place, not two, but 3 places. He's down in 4th position, and Ben Short has got a lot of work to do now. Simon Baldwin is on the outside line there in car number 9, but the BS Motorsport machine's going to have a look up the inside to see whether he can get back onto a potential podium place. Well, this race, as I said, 20 minutes, so it's not all about winning it on the opening laps. Martin Tolley now up on the inside of Simon Baldwin. Down behind them, it's Sam Smith, the Downham Market-based driver, 22 years of age, who's trying to get in the mix as well. So, some cracking action to get us underway. As I say, it is a very long season for these drivers, and we're going to be bringing you all the action right the way throughout the year here on Motors TV. Down into Brooklands they go. Brian Chandler now up front, and Ben Short is looking for a way through on the inside. He's got Darren Lewis right behind him, and of course if Chandler makes a mistake in 76, it's going to be Short and Lewis will be able to pop through. And with this great big long train of cars, any mistake is going to be punished. You can well and truly get hung out to dry, to use the cliche, and lose a hat load of places. A little bit of a gap developing between, I think that's probably about 8th or 9th position from there on in, but the race leaders still very much hard at it, with Brian Chandler started in P4. That's the great thing about this extremely level championship. This is very much, of course there's car preparation involved in it, but it's all really down to driver skill on circuit. Simon Baldwin still trying to close in car number 9. Around Beckett's they go. So it's Chandler leading at the moment. Ben Short in 2nd position in white, and Short goes for the lead, looks down the inside, and Ben Short's got himself back in front along the National Home Straight into Copse Corner. Darren Lewis 2nd, Brian Chandler in 76 is 3rd. Watch for track limits. They've all had the riot act read to them, to be fair, throughout the drivers' briefing, so they all know that they can't do it. They'll be handed penalties if they exceed track limits. But look at this, an absolute wodge of cars all dicing over the lead, and Simon Baldwin trying to get back on that lead pack as well. So Baldwin working hard. Martin Tolley is a little bit adrift of the top 5 at the moment, but if they continue to dice like this, he will pull himself up into the mix of them. Got Ben Tuck in car number 3, I think, trying to join in as well. So coming down into Brooklands, Gary Hufford in car 6 is there, the white car with the purple cage, trying to put a move on. It's the 68 car of Paul Tucker who's following him. Back on board with our in-car camera, Kevin Brent, working hard. Kevin coming around Luffield down to Woodcote, and this is where the finish line is, just at the start of the straight here, and we'll see whether he can get through. Quick look in the mirrors from Kevin Brent out to the racing line. Did he have a quick glance across at his pit board? No, I think he's looking in his mirrors to see if he's being challenged by anyone behind him, but he's going to try and have a look through, see if he can go through on the inside. Andrew Caird in car 15 is the man in front. A little bit of a trip off for Richard Collins there, left of shot, and he goes through. Now Caird, the car in front of that camera shot, had an engine change overnight, so that team have been working hard. Great to see him out and making it on track as we go back to the race leaders, still fighting it out. Darren Lewis now on the outside line. That'll convert to the inside for the next corner, and Simon Baldwin has got up into second place. And this is great news for the white car, Ben Short. But side by side, John Hughes coming through. So John Hughes in the 33 car. This group of battlers just outside the top 10. John Hughes in 33, Paul Bishop in 44. Hughes at the moment in 13th place. And there again is Paul, the Lincolnshire-based driver, crosses the line. Chris Hart and Clive Powell still having a terrific race. This is, as we said, for 8th and 9th position. Ahead of them, if you look in the distance, you'll see Martin Tolley and Ben Tuck, who are on the back of the race leaders pack, and I suspect that we'll pick them up shortly to take us into the closing part of the race. Roger Cheslow still chasing, looks at the inside line there of Richard Breland, but back to the race lead. Ben Short in 14 is still there, and he and Simon Baldwin have broken clear, and this is enabling them to engage in battle. Simon Baldwin, I think, is going to try and look up the inside as they come out of Brooklands, but is Ben Short going to take the win? Ben runs over the curb, Simon Baldwin's trying to get a run on him. It's Brian Chandler back in third position, but Ben Short is going to take the win. There's the checkered flag. The opening round of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship 2015 is won by Ben Short from Simon Baldwin. They managed to break away from the chasing pack in the closing stages of the race. Chris Hart just going through, getting the better of Clive Powell after a race-long battle for 8th and 9th position. As we look back, Matt Tasker is running a little bit wide there, and Andrew Caird with that replacement engine going through to take 23rd. Matt Tasker in 24th position. So here's the result. Ben Short, the winner from Simon Baldwin, who got the fastest lap. Brian Chandler next from Darren Lewis. Sam Smith 5th from Ben Tuck. Martin Tolley in 7th. Then Chris Hart and Clive Powell. Paul Tucker 10th from Gary Hufford and Richard Breland. John Hughes in 13th from Roger Cheslow. Paul Bishop 15th from Simon Goddard. Lewis Field, Ollie Allwood, Brian Trott and Jake Simpson round out the top 20. They were followed by Michael Fisk, Harry Dean, Andrew Caird, Matt Tasker, Drew Forster, Kevin Brent, Graham Colby and Richard Collins.
I'm joined by Ben, Simon and Brian, first, second and third from the 1A race. Ben, it was so close, wasn't it? It was all pretty much about 5 of you guys fighting right at the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bit of a pants start, to be fair. And then, yeah, quickly, I think second corner got back in front of Darren. And for a little while, I thought everything was going all right, and I'd even managed to break the pack, but with that back straight back there, it's just... And then the fighting ensued then for lap after lap after lap. I think I got it pretty easy last couple, watching these two go at it in the mirror type thing, but Simon was always, going to be up the rear eventually.
Simon, second in the first race there. What was it like out there?
Very, very tight. I think we all knew it was going to be tight. All the lap times are just within a few tenths. So, yeah, great battle, great racing. And quite frankly, it could have been finishing first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth even. I could see that happening. So, great racing, yeah.
Brian, third. Good job, but I know you've got a little bit of damage. You've got a puncture on your car, haven't you?
I don't know. It's got a rubbish engine in it, I know that much.
I think I did spot a puncture.
Oh yeah, probably. It didn't feel right towards the end, and I kind of lost the pack a little bit. But yeah, hectic race, we knew it was going to be. Like I say, I'm suffering a little bit this weekend, but...
Do you have man flu as well?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I had a rubbish weekend last weekend. It's just, yeah, us racing drivers, we're sensitive really.
I'm at the start of the Mazda MX-5 2B race. Now, we've seen some fantastic racing so far, but this is the race that's going to close the weekend off. I'm going to speak to the man that's on pole, Matt Tasker. Matt, tell us how your day's gone so far.
Pretty well. It's been the first time racing around this circuit, so it's been a new one for me to learn. Struggled a little bit in the last race, that's why I ended up being demoted to the B race, but really enjoying it. My first ever pole position start, so see how it goes. Hopefully I can get it off the line.
Best of luck. Thank you, Matt.
Matt Tasker starting then on pole position for race 2B. Ewan Milne alongside, then Kevin Brent and Graham Colby. On the third row, Richard Collins and Simon Woods. They're followed by Carl Andrew and Courtney Milnes. Then it's Simon Ricketts and Russ Lindsay on row 5. Row 6, David Staples with William Wood. Michael Lawson next with Bruce Carter. Then Alex Saw and Ivan Leary. Simon Drinkle lines up in 17th position with Patrick Collins. Then Paul Austin and David Henderson. Henry Lawson and Matt Pickford, followed by Nick Riley and Matthew Simonite. The grid completed Christian Young and Peng Fei Chen. And away we go here at Silverstone. Again, a great clean start. Matthew Tasker on pole. Remember, we got the drivers relegated from the fastest group, starting in the front of this one, the top 5 drivers. Courtney Milnes gets away well in 7. David Staples in car number 2. We've got in-car footage here, as you can see, from Graham Colby. Lime green 55 machine. And he's right in the mix, but it's Matt Tasker who leads this one at the moment. Kevin Brent in 2nd position, 3 wide. And on the outside line is Carl Andrew in double 1-8. They're all sorting themselves out. This is so busy at the start of an MX-5 race. Here is Alex Saw, who's running well, but it's Matt Tasker still in the lead. Chasing him though is Kevin Brent, who started on row 2. Big sort out happening behind them. Tell you what, this isn't for the faint-hearted. So the sort out go. There's Graham Colby 55, the lime green car, which was one of the onboards that we're carrying. Richard Collins in car 5 is in the mix as well. So Matt Tasker still leading. This is the view from Graham Colby. And what could Graham do? Is he going to? Not much room on the outside here. How early will he make the attempt to go down the inside, if indeed that is what he does? We were looking from the lime green car in that 3rd place. You've got Richard Collins in car 5 behind him, and Collins being challenged by Ewan Milne on the outside, and Milne holds on and goes through on the inside line. We've got Carl Andrew behind them, and the pair go wide, and Carl Andrew's coming up the inside and might be able to get 2 places here for the price of 1. He's going to pass Ewan Milne. We've got Simon Woods in the mix as well, the orange car, so Simon Woods is there. All good stuff thus far. Matthew Tasker leading the race from Kevin Brent in 2nd position. Courtney Milnes looking to try and pass Simon Woods in 101. Back in car with Kevin Brent we go. So Brent working hard, really good in-car shot. Gives you an idea what, and that's the 2nd place car, 41, trying to challenge Matt Tasker. Graham Colby still there in 3rd position. Brent, of course, one of the drivers, along with Matt Tasker and Richard Collins and Graham Colby, that were in the bottom 5 of race 1A. Brent was the 3rd of those drivers, and Drew Forster 177, the man who decided not to race here. Colby gets a little tap, collects it up. That could have been a lot more nasty than it was. Colby won't be happy about that. Here's the onboard. He's being passed left, right and centre. After that moment, Courtney Milnes goes past. Courtney Milnes trying to make up a position as well as they go through Beckett's. Here we go onto the straight. Quick look again. Foot to the floor, up into top gear, along the straight, under the bridge we go. It's so crowded up front. Graham Colby must be wondering what he's got to do. So the onboard car, the green car there, centre of shot. And what's he going to do? We've got a big battle for the lead. Matt Tasker is in front of us. We change onboards, go back to Kevin Brent, who was in 3rd place. And there goes Courtney Milne through on the inside. Brent's on the ground. Here comes Colby. The 2 camera cars side by side. Graham Colby's there on the outside. Kevin Brent trying to keep it in. He's in 4th position at the moment. Looks across again. Has he done enough to get the position? I'm looking in the mirror of Brent's car to see if that's the lime green machine that's right behind him. But we're going to drop back just a little bit further back behind the race leaders. 75 Bruce Carter up ahead of 96 Michael Lawson. Then it's Paul Austin in car number 30. They turn in Bruce Carter, passed by the number 30 car. And then William Wood, the 28-year-old from Farnham, in Surrey is next in the mix as well. Out front, it's Ewan Milne, the race leader. Matthew Tasker in 34, in second position. And what can Matthew do? Goes to the outside line. This might give him a better run around Cop, certainly down towards Mangans. They're side by side across the line. And under the gantry, is this going to... Tasker's done it, round the outside, but tagged by Ewan Milne. He's off onto the dirt. Kevin Brent's going to come through. And Tasker, well, he glances the tyre wall there, but has kept the car running, but he's in the gravel. He might need some marshal assistance to get out. The wheels were spinning, and I don't think Matt's going to be very happy about that. It was a brave move around the outside, and there are lots of brave moves being done because they were 3 wide going into Beckett's there, with Simon Woods in orange picking off places. Kevin Brent, come on, says Kevin Brent. What a great shot that was. So Brent on the outside line, and you can just see the damage from the camera car on the 177 machine of Ewan Milne, so there was very definitely contact. Ewan Milne still in front. Brent chasing hard in the 41 car, runs a little bit wide, and he's going to get back on. There wasn't a shunt there. Now, were there 2 cars? Then through into second place goes Simon Woods. Well, Woods was a lot further back than that earlier on in the race, but he's made great progress. As we look at David Henderson in the red 4 car, dicing with Paul Austin. Austin up the inside, the back I think is trying to come round. We've got the blue 75 of Bruce Carter is in the mix as well. Wonderful racing from the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. And they come down the straight, varying lines here, which are giving us the indication that there is some space between these cars. So Lawson comes, here comes Bruce Carter making a manoeuvre. William Wood in white is ahead of this battle. Paul Austin is there as well, but Carter makes the manoeuvre. Good clean pass on David Henderson. David 21st in the first of the 2 B races, and he's considerably further up the order here. And contact, and around goes the 69 car. Simon Drinkle, and that is not a happy thing at all for Simon Drinkle, and I think that's going to be our second, just our second retirement of the meeting. Although Matt Tasker might get back on track, but Simon Drinkle finds himself in the band. He's not going to be very happy about that at all. Battle continues. I guess it's not surprising that we're going to wind up with 1 or 2 incidents like that. Simon is okay, which is of course the main thing. Back in car with Kevin Brent, changes up and onto the main straight. Courtney Mills is on the outside line and down into 3rd place, but here comes Kevin Brent looking on the inside. Ewan Milne second, looking at the outside of the orange car of Simon Woods, who surely is going to hang on. Milne, I thought, was going to go wider there, but took a good line on the corner. Kevin Brent down in 4th in 41, and he's going to see whether he can go past Courtney Milnes. Down behind them we've got Graham Colby in 55, who looks at the inside line, and we'll see whether he can go through as well. Oh, terrific racing. We're now coming up towards the closing stages of this one, so again it's going to be cat and mouse between these guys and girl, of course, because the number 7 car, remember, Lady Rose, Courtney Milnes gets it all sideways. Having said that, and he's off and glances the tyre wall. That is a very dramatic spin for Courtney Milnes, who has the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:13.214. So Courtney will try, if she can, and rejoin. That's where we had the yellows earlier on for Matt Tasker, who is back out in the race. So Courtney Milnes is out, still with the fastest lap. Kevin Brent wants to get on with the job still, quite rightly. They have time to make these gesticulation thumbs up from him. Now they are communicating with each other, which is fascinating to see. But it's Simon Woods who is the race leader, and the man he was gesticulating to is the lime green 55 car of Graham Colby, who's in 4th place at the moment. And the idea, what Kevin Brent's saying is, work with me, let's reel in the race to the 2 race leaders, and then sort it out amongst ourselves. Here comes the quartet, and here comes Ewan Milne offline and into the lead, but as he overcooked it, he drifts wide, he outbrakes himself, and from the race lead double wave jellos there. He's down to fourth, and it's Simon Woods from Kevin Brent, Graham Colby in third, Ewan Milne after that lunge, and I think Ewan saw the flags and that may be what put him off. We'll find out in the interviews, but it's Simon Woods that leads Kevin Brent, who's come through into second position. Car number 41 was 26 in race number 1 and takes second place, but it's Simon Woods, the delighted winner, from Kevin Brent, Graham Colby third, Ewan Milne in fourth. The race, in fairness, could have gone to any one of those four. Simon Woods takes the win from Kevin Brent and Graham Colby, then Ewan Milne and Simon Ricketts, David Staples 6th from William Wood, Paul Austin 8th, then Michael Lawson and Bruce Carter in 10th. 11th goes to Russ Lindsay from Ivan Leary, David Henderson next from Henry Lawson and Alex Saw, Nick Riley 16th from Matt Simonite, then Matt Pickford, Christian Young, Peng Fei Chen in 20th and Matt Tasker 21st. Fastest lap to lady racer Courtney Milnes.
Simon, great job, congratulations, you've won the overall. You said you could retire now because you only wanted to win one race, and mission complete.
Yeah, that's it, I'm done. I just wanted to win the one race. It was hard, very hard. I started 6th, and it was the top 6 very, very quick cars, taking nothing away from the Group Bs. Oh, what a race. I'm drained, absolutely.
But it makes it all worthwhile, the fact that you actually worked hard for the result.
Yeah, it does, very hard. I'm definitely going to celebrate tonight with a beer or two.
Kevin, second overall, perfect start to the season and the weekend. A lot of sideways action there. Quite eventful race for you.
Very eventful, probably one of the most eventful that I've done. I think the lead must have, I don't know how many times the lead changed hands, but sideways, 3 or 4 abreast and inches apart. Very good, really good.
That's what makes the racing so interesting, is the drama of it for the spectators. We loved watching it.
Absolutely, the drama is fantastic. It makes it fun for us to drive, and also for our sponsors. And my sponsor day is PMA Day, and you know, it's great entertainment, isn't it? It's fantastic, it's really good.
Graham, a dramatic race, very eventful, a lot going on, a lot overtaking, passing. How was it for you?
Absolutely fantastic, loved it. A little bit of pushing and barging, but really enjoyable race. Really pleased to finish third. Fantastic.
Talk us through that race. Tell us a little bit about what happened and what was it like from inside.
A really good start. We was doing fine for the first few laps. I think I got a knock at the end of Wellington Straight, put me back to about 7th, and the rest of the race just battling through and catch the front few again, and then finish racing third. But really enjoyed it. Fantastic.
So let's take a look at the grid for race 2A, and it's Ben Short who starts on pole position by virtue of his win. Simon Baldwin next to him, then Brian Chandler and Darren Lewis, Sam Smith and Ben Tuck row 3, Martin Tolley and Chris Hart on the 4th row. Row 5, Clive Powers and Paul Tucker, then Gary Hufford and Richard Breland, John Hughes and Roger Chesno, followed by Paul Bishop and Simon Goddard. Then it's Lewis Field and Ollie Allwood, Brian Trott and Jake Simpson, row 10, Michael Fisk and Harry Dean, followed by Andrew Caird and William Stevenson, Paul Bateman and Danny Green, followed by David Birrell and John Coburn-Evans. The lights are on for 20 more minutes of BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship action, and this is where the top points are available. It looks like a good start by Simon Baldwin, but we won't know until they get to Copse, and in fact it was Ben Short who got away from that pole position well. Clive Powell's running well, 68 to his outside is Paul Tucker. In car with Richard Breland, wide line there from Gary Hufford in 6 is looking to go through. John Hughes is there as well, but it's still the 14 car of Ben Short that leads. Darren Lewis being chased by Sam Smith. Chris Hart's in the mix as well as he bumped a little bit there. And they come out of Beckett's at the moment, a game of cat and mouse. Now this is where you'll normally see a driver break ranks, but the lead driver, Ben Short, keeping it relatively tight, comes out for the racing line. Brian Chandler's going to have a look down the inside. Simon Baldwin might have a look too. Darren Lewis round the outside, side by side as they go into Brooklands. He held on well. And in the mix as well, we've got Sam Smith in 31. 5 cars all fighting over the lead. A little bit of a gap developing back into 6th place, which is Ben Tuck at the moment. And just look how crowded this is. Now this sort of crowding is going to enable the front runners to start to get away from these guys. Major sort out happening here. In car with Breland again. Wider line here. Might possibly pick up a little bit more momentum as they come onto the straight. Should the 81 car, there he is, that's our onboard car. Up ahead in that show of number 12, the blue car of Harry Dean. Very crowded field, as we say. And we go back up to the sharp end of things, and it's Ben Short still there, but Sam Smith goes through, and Sam Smith takes the lead. That is a textbook Silverstone pass. Darren Lewis is still there in third place, and Simon Baldwin back in fourth position at the moment. So the lead quartet, I'm wondering if, just having a quick look back to see if we're going to get another car join. It's Ben Tuck running in fifth place, who needs to work with the car behind to try and cut a hole through the air. A little bit of bump drafting. Yeah, one of the drivers talking about that in the race interviews, post-race interviews. Oh, back into the lead then goes Ben Short. Sam Smith second, Darren Lewis is third. Lewis going a little bit wider here. Simon Baldwin, again, this is where Simon Baldwin was, wasn't it? In the tail end of race 1A, he was at the back of the pack holding the cards, and at the moment not under any immediate pressure. He's got Brian Chandler as well as Ben Tuck behind him. Brian Chandler just ahead of Ben Tuck, but that's a duo battle in itself. And Darren Lewis about to be picked off here by Simon Baldwin, who's on the outside line now. I thought Baldwin had timed that well. Is Baldwin going to get a better run? Lewis looks quicker on the inside line here, despite being defensive, and this could be good for the race leader, Sam Smith. So Smith in the lead, Lewis second, Baldwin third. Fourth position is Ben Short, and Short's going to have a look down the inside as they go along the straight. We're going to try and get back onto a podium position. Let's see whether the white car can come through into third place. Yes, he does. And Simon Baldwin has got all the work to do again. He's back in fourth position where he was about 2 laps ago. And just goes to show, A, how hard it is to make a pass, and B, how once you got past somebody they can repay the compliment. Sam Smith here is leading the race so well. Michael Fisk leading that group of cars through Copse. You can see the very slight climb up from Copse towards Maggots, which is where we are now. Lewis Field looks like he's picked up a little bit of damage and runs wide, and here we go back with, this is Brian Chandler in 76 going through on the inside of Ben Tuck. This is for fifth position. They're side by side. Tucks himself back on the inside line, reclaims the position. Brian Chandler goes through. It's Clive Powell's behind them. Back to the lead. Look at this, virtually 4 cars wide for the lead as they come into Brooklands. And round the outside goes Simon Baldwin, trying to get up into second position. Sam Smith holds on to second. Darren Lewis is back in fourth place at the moment, but holding on to the lead is Ben Short, who won race number 1. My goodness me, you don't see this. Now, if you think about, a lot of these drivers are going to aspire, if they had the money, and I'm not going to say if they had the talent, because they clearly have, right up to the pit wall they go. They're going to want to go into Formula 1. They're not going to get racing like this in F1, because these 4 cars so evenly matched, and 4 very talented, very evenly matched drivers giving us some good, clean racing. I was saying clean, did we get a bit of a clash there? If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. Well, here they come again. And through into lead position has gone Simon Baldwin. So Baldwin's there. Darren Lewis up into second place. Ben Short third. Sam Smith now in fourth position. And Sam Smith's going to want to change it again. Grabs the inside line at Beckett's. Darren Lewis wants the win. So too does Sam Smith behind him. Lewis goes wide. Is he going to chop back in? He needs to be mindful of Sam Smith. He comes across. Oh, that was great driving from the pair of them. Sam Smith could have made a lunge there. A lunge would have been dangerous, but he realised the space wasn't there. He wants to finish. Finish is absolutely crucial. The guys do drop their worst scores, but the last thing you want to do at the first meeting of the year is start the season on the back foot with a DNF. So these guys are all thinking very much about their racing. But look at Lewis, wide line. And onto the last lap, into Copse, but it's Simon Baldwin leading. Lewis still there. Sam Smith's coming up the inside. And Smith's through into second place. Sam Smith into second. Darren Lewis down to third, fourth position is still Ben Short, and Short is still in the mix as well. This is a 120-mile-an-hour game of chess going on here, because it's all about who makes the move. Smith goes wide and he's going to have a go, but is he going to get punished for doing so? He's on the outside line, and it's Simon Baldwin leading. Oh, and he overcooks it, going into the corner, and Smith's down to fourth. But look at Ben Short, a very wide line. He's back in third now, because Short took a very wide line, and he's trying to build the momentum come through. But it's Simon Baldwin who's going to take the win. Here is Ben Short, who did use that momentum to take third position. Is he going to hang on to it? The checkered flag is out, and it's Baldwin from Lewis. Ben Short third, Sam Smith in fourth position. Well, if you don't want to watch the rest of the season, shame on you. Here come the other cars across the line. Clive Powell's, I think, crossed the line in fifth place, but he's going to get a penalty, which is going to drop him down the order Brian Chandler crossed the line in fifth place, but I think that's going to drop him back to eighth, the back of that quartet. A fantastic race. And if that hasn't whetted your appetite to actually come and race one of these cars, I hope that it's given you the appetite to watch the rest of the season with us here on Motors TV. So here's the result. Simon Baldwin, a win and fastest lap again. Darren Lewis second from Ben Short and Sam Smith. Ben Tuck fifth from Martin Tolley and Clive Powers. Brian Chandler 8th from Gary Hufford and Paul Tucker. They were followed by John Hughes, Richard Breland, Chris Hart, Simon Goddard, Brian Trott 15th from Paul Bishop, Lewis Field 17th, then Michael Fisk, Ollie Allwood, Jake Simpson in 20th place, 188. They were followed by Paul Bateman, William Stevenson, Roger Chesner, Harry Dean, Andrew Ked 25th from David Birrell, Danny Green 27th, and John Coburn Evans completing the 28 runners.
Simon, congratulations, overall winner for Group A, but it was jam-packed out there and it was very close, wasn't it?
It really was tight, yeah. Both races today have been such fun. I mean, I think it's one of the best racing I've actually had in Mazda. It's been really, really good fun, yeah. So very pleased with the result. But it could have been anyone's race. I think it was all about who was positioned where with about 4 laps to go, really. So, and I just happened, and I was lucky, as Ben tells me.
Darren, congratulations, second overall in Group A, and it's 0.3 of a second, so it was mega close as well.
Yeah, it was probably the best race I've ever had in the Mazdas, to be honest. I mean, this weekend's been probably the best I've ever achieved. Brilliant. I don't know what to say. It was. I got back to 4th place, I think, 2 laps before the end, and then I just went for it. I managed to pull it off, and I got second. I started pole earlier. I was a little bit disappointed because I fell back to 4th, but that's made up for it, to be honest. Brilliant racing.
Ben, talk us through your whole weekend and your race. It was so close out there, wasn't it? Are you happy to be third today?
Yeah. I mean, I think that might land me second in the championship. But to be fair, I enjoyed that race more than the win previously, because that was a bit of a fight. That was good fun.
We've seen some close racing and some nail-biting action. With a packed grid, this season is going to be unmissable. Don't forget to join us next time at Brands Hatch for more action.